fucking ready to go. Good thing too, because we're live.
Yay!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Great Skeptic. I'm yelling.
Yes.
And,
Already yelling. This is going to be a good one.
Yes. All right. If you don't have it, go grab your drinks. This is going to be a wild ride, guys.
Yeah.
I'm here with my good friend, Mrs. Snarky.
Howdy, y'all.
And we are going to do episode 15 of Atheist Flashback on woo. So woohoo.
Woo woo.
We'll not back to puns.
Oh.
And I'm an idiot.
No.
So I'm gonna see everyone's messages way earlier than usual. So it's a whole new world, guys. All right, so
Psychic now.
yeah, I'm basically psychic.
It's because you're hanging out with me. You know, I kind of like exude the power.
Yeah, you're like woo is rubbing off on me.
Yeah, I'm like a magician and shit, y'all. Like,
so if not everyone knows, Mrs. Snarky was not always an atheist, and she was not always a Christian before that. She was a whole bunch of other freaky stuff from what I know. And we're going to be going over that today.
Very freaky.
Very freaky indeed. So I'll give you just a minute here to introduce yourself for anyone who doesn't already know you. And then we'll go ahead and get started. So take it away, Mrs. Snarky.
I'm Mrs. Snarky, and I'm a witch.
Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
Well, I'm actually a gray witch, oddly enough.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Perfect. See, I didn't know that before I asked you to come on.
I know. It's weird, right? I always kind of had that in the back of my mind, too. Yeah, I know what you mean by the gray thing. Yeah, I got you.
You got it. You got it.
And in the tradition that I had, there was, you know, there's white and black magic, right? You know, but there's two pillars, and in between that is the middle path, which is the gray path. So, middle ground. It's pretty awesome.
That's favorite.
Just waiting for you to come back, hun.
Perfect. I'm the perfect candidate.
Yes.
I'm already gray.
Yes. And I'm graying, so that works.
You're gray. That's not true.
I blame my daughter. Oh, it's totally true. It totally is.
And sorry, Lavender Lady. No, there's no lavender magic. At least not here. Not tonight.
Oh, but I use lavender in my magic, so
ooh.
Yeah, often actually.
There's something. All right, everyone. I'm going to turn off my video because we have been having some technical difficulties, and I want to make sure the stream goes as smooth as possible. So.
Aww. Bye, Mark. Oh, I can still see it. That's awesome.
So, what do we got? We have, all right, Mrs. Snarky. I usually start in Genesis, but fuck Genesis tonight. We're going to Woo Town.
Yeah.
So, I guess I have a couple questions for you right off the bat.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with my first question. Is, do you drink, or does your religion have any issues with drinking?
Oh, hell no. The more the merrier. You just, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's better. But I mean, whenever you're doing like ritual, it's best to remain clear-headed.
Okay. Okay.
But if you're celebrating, you know, the gods enjoy a drink.
So, you should stay pure while practicing magic, but
yes.
Otherwise, should you drink all the time and just be super sinful, or what's your deal?
That's not exactly. No. I mean, it's a lot. There's really no quote unquote dogma, right? But there are principles that must be adhered to. So, when it comes to, you know, the rituals, and anytime you're in the presence of divine or really it's not so much presence of divine as it is taking God form. So basically you're taking God into yourself. So you have to be pure. And there's always a ritual cleansing bath before rituals. So
sounds like a little bit of like what the Virgin Mary had to do.
yeah.
Take God into herself and stay pure.
Yes. And there is some kinds of like sexual tones to it as well. There's sex magic. There's all kinds of stuff.
Okay. Now, is that something that you practice?
Sorta, kinda, but
Ooh.
but you know.
Yeah. Okay.
It's kind of like some of the stuff that you would. Oh, what is it called? Oh my god, not the Kama Sutra stuff. What am I thinking of, Matt?
What?
The sex stuff. The Tantra. Yeah, it's Tantra, kind of.
Okay. I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
Oh.
Basically, whenever
Does that magic work?
It does. Basically, what you do is when you're having sex, you don't so much worry about, the motion so much as the connectiveness.
Yes.
Become one. So the idea is to hold your quote unquote seed as long as you can until you just can't stand it anymore. And it's actually pretty awesome.
All right.
Yes.
Yes. Now I have heard of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
And it's very interesting. It's very interesting in the act because, when it comes to the occult and magic and all these things, it has to do with energy. So it's all about the feeling, and it's kind of like an electric kind of tingly feeling that goes up and down your spine and into the like between your eyes and through the top of your head. Almost like being struck by lightning. But not that intense. Not like it's going to kill you, but it's just
That's too bad.
It's just the it's almost kind of, well, sex is kind of thought of in the occult tradition as a sort of death. In a strange way, there's like the lines are kind of blurred between sex and death, because you kind of cease to be in this conscious world and you go to another realm in a way when you're in ecstasy like that. It's a what do you call it? It's a transcendent feeling.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. Now is that something that you would practice often?
As much as I could.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so that's basically sex magic, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna back it up just a little bit.
Cool.
Woo. Is that like a derogatory, like, or?
Yeah, it's a derogatory term, really. If you were to call me woo as an occultist, I would frown on that.
I missed pretty much everything you just said there. I'm sorry. Could you repeat it?
Oh yeah. If as an occultist, if someone comes up to me and they say that I'm a practitioner of woo, I would assume that they meant like a new ager, and new agers are just like fluffy. They're not the real deal. They don't do the studying and the real. They don't know the real magic of reality. So, but me, I know.
Okay.
I know the secrets because occult.
Yeah. So then, what do you call yourself specifically?
For the most part, I called myself a theurgist. Which
a theurgist?
Bless you. Yes. And then the goal of a theurgist is to connect with God or connect with source or the ultimate consciousness, because Well, that whole idea behind the Hermetic principles is that all is mind. Which I would like to kind of show you what the principles are, if that's okay.
Oh, please do.
It'll give you a better idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, so Hermes Trismegistus is, we don't know exactly who he is, but it's kind of, these writings were found around like Egypt or something like that. And basically the ideas were Egyptian pantheon mixed with the Greek pantheon. So we got this thing called the Golden Tablet and also the Hermetica, which was supposedly written by this Hermes Trismegistus guy. Okay. And he had all the knowledge of writing, magic, etc. So this is where we get our principles from. And so the first principle is the idea of mentalism, which states that all is mind and the universe is mental. Everything is consciousness, and it's kind of like we have a unified consciousness that wants to experience itself in different forms, like human form, animal form, rock form, anything. It's basically animism. Did I lose you?
No, I'm still here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Just go ahead and go on. I'm sorry. Yeah, go on.
So basically, all the phenomena of life, matter, and energy of the material universe are thoughts, an infinite and universal living mind, which means that all things share a connection in the fact they exist within the mind of the all, as it is put, and therefore all are subject to the laws of created things. This mental universe, for the sake of experiment, could be explained as infinite intelligence, infinite or intelligent field, and even the nature of consciousness itself, creating the dialogue of thought, which dances with thought. So it's kind of like everything is thought, everything is mind. Any questions?
No. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, and
Okay.
I feel like there's a lot of Christians who would more or less agree with that, like some of the weirder Christians.
Yeah, the Quakers and the Shakers, right? And even some of the Pentecostals have this idea. It's kind of like the Holy Spirit is this connection that we have to God as a ghost, right? So,
Speaking of connection, I missed all that.
oh no,
I'm sorry.
it's kind of the same principle as like the Holy Ghost or Spirit. You know, it permeates everything and it connects everything.
Yes.
Kind of like that. Yeah. So that's
Very
the
much
first.
so.
That's the first principle. And things kind of work as emanations from the monad, which, if you're familiar with Plato, it's kind of straightforward. You know, 1 becomes 2, and then 2 becomes 3, etc., etc. And it just kind of produces and becomes more and more complex until we get, you know, the nature of the reality that we see, which isn't necessarily material, but mental as perception, kind of like Plato's shadows in the cave analogy.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with the cave allegory?
I am. Do you want to explain it for everyone? I feel like most of the people in the live chat get it, but
Yeah, well, just for those who
viewers.
don't know, Plato had a very wonderful allegory of people that were in this cave, and they saw shadows on the wall, and they considered that as real and the known reality that they had. Well, one of them goes beyond the cave and sees a whole different perspective and a whole different world, and he comes back.
A 3D world.
Yeah. He comes back into the cave and he tries to tell these people, hey, there's a whole other brilliant reality to be had outside the cave, and they don't believe him. That is kind of the way that the occultist feels about other people. They're more or less asleep to the reality and the beauty that is within it, that emanates from the divine. So that's why it's kind of a secret tradition, because it has the allegories, so people just look at it like it's crazy, which it is, just saying. But
take a drink.
Yeah, definitely. I'll drink to that. But yeah, they're the ones that are awakened, enlightened, and everyone else is essentially asleep because they're the ones that think the reality is the shadows on the wall, trapped in their cave. So, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good analogy for good things and bad things, you know, like things that we don't understand, and also things that we don't understand but we think we understand. And you can use that for most religions, because you hear that a lot. Everyone else is just asleep, right?
Right. They're not saved, or they're asleep. It's basically in group, out group kind of dynamic.
Hashtag are you woke enough?
Is you is or is you not woke? But yeah, when it comes to the occult, though, it's very much, since it's secret and it's hidden and hermetic, you know, hermits, they keep to themselves. These are kind of things that should not be revealed to outsiders at all, really. It's kind of like the adage, don't cast your pearls before the swine, because they're just gonna like defile it. And that's the way these teachings, these secret teachings, are seen. So if you're initiated into like the Golden Dawn tradition, like I was, then you're not supposed to talk about it. But here I am talking about it. So, oops.
So we're getting a really good inside look here.
Yeah.
So what's that principle called again?
The first principle is mentalism. All is mind.
Okay.
All is mind.
All is what?
All is mind. Everything is mental. So the second principle is of correspondence. And I'm sure you're familiar with this one. As above, so below. As below, so above. As within, so without. As without, so within. So everything is a reflection of the greater universe and the smaller universe, etc. It just kind of bounces off of one another as a reflection. So, yeah. So anything that you think will be manifested in the world. That's one of the key principles here. And that's why magic. Because if you're in control of your thoughts, you can control your reality. At least that's the idea.
Well, it goes off of the all in mind.
Yes, it does. And anything that you do down here, if you're connected to this world or connected to the higher emanations, then anything that you do here goes above and comes back down into manifestation. And that's why magic works. Because you speak the words with passion and you get connected with the universe or source, and it kind of bounces back down and you pull it down to earth and it manifests as reality. So hopefully that makes sense. Does it make sense?
I missed that last part. You said it kind of bounce, kind of what?
Yeah, it kind of, you pull it whenever you practice magic, you send your intent up and then pull it back down into manifestation.
Gotcha. Is it kind of like answering your own prayers?
Yeah, more or less. Because whenever you're doing this, whenever you're doing ritual, you take on various god forms. So whatever you're trying to attain, you get your correspondence, you get all the knickknacks that you need, you do your ritual, and you bring it down. And you manifest it. Basically, you are God, but just a part of God. And it's that connection to God that gives you magical power.
Can you explain, if you scroll back up a little bit, if anyone's just listening, she is she is kind of given a little like demonstration, and she's showing things and pictures.
Yes.
She's going through the principles, and she has not quite a slideshow, but she is making a presentation. I was going to say, is there anything that you can say on the pictures that they're showing for the page? I know it's it probably doesn't have a whole hell of a lot of meaning, but I see certain things there, like I see the fingerprint, I see the fetus, I see the koru, or the unfurling fern, or whatever.
Yes.
So I see all that. Like, do any of those hold special significance? And
As far as the as above, so below, you see the galaxy spiral corresponds to the fingerprints.
I lost you again. I'm sorry. You said as far as what? I'm sorry.
Okay, I know you're having issues. I'm sorry, honey. But the spiral galaxy pattern is seen also in the flowers and the fetal position and any other fucking pattern seeking shit you want it to correspond to. There's also like sacred geometry is a big portion of this study. And so, yeah, the phi and Fibonacci and stuff like that is a real big portion of it. And that's kind of what it's demonstrating here. So the heavens have the same form as what we see here on Earth and within us.
Okay.
That's the basic idea.
Because it's all connected.
Yeah, because
No,
all is mind.
Now I feel like those pictures should have been on the first one with the all is mine, but I think that was the Crab Nebula, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. The first one was, let's see.
You don't know you're a
Oh,
nebula?
that's not, that's the, oh, what is that called? Is that crab? Let's see. Does it say? It doesn't say. It's the eyeball nebula, damn it.
The eyeball nebula. There we go. If someone else
see,
know, you can put it in the live chat, guys.
See, the eye of Sauron is in space, so
it is.
Yeah, the all-seeing eye. So yeah, that's the second principle. Did you have any questions, more questions about this, or?
Nope, not right now.
Okay.
You can go ahead and move right along.
The third principle, of course, is vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates, and at different rates. So if you're able, say you want to do a spell that brings you money, you want to match the vibration of the thing you want to attain, which means, you know, doing rituals that correspond to it. Of course, they would have the same vibration. The thoughts would have the same vibration and all of that jazz. Supposedly like attracts like, that kind of thing. It's basically the secret for people that really like to read, because I'll tell you, the occult is mostly reading. Just saying. Okay. It's about 90% reading and 10% ritual. So.
Well, now I do have a question here.
Okay.
Since I'm familiar with Ocean Keltoy.
Yes.
And anyone who's not, he's worth checking out. He has some interesting views. But one thing that I really like about his group is that there are some atheists who practice the polytheism rituals.
I don't know how that works, but okay.
No, yeah. I actually kind of do, because my wife's kind of into that kind of thing. Like, she enjoys the rituals, but like, she doesn't believe it, but she likes the rituals. She thinks they're kind of therapeutic or like calming or whatever.
Right. If you think of it instead of God, if you think of it as mind, then yeah, you could be an atheist.
Yeah. So did you know many people who were atheists who practice these, or is that? Yeah. Oh
yeah, it was very common. Especially there was what was it? Or one of Crowley's traditions, the Ordo Templi Ordialis or something like that.
Could you say that again?
The Ordo
This last-
Templi Ordialis or something like that. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. It's been so long. I had a friend named Jared that was really into that, and he was an atheist, but he practiced Hermetic magic. So, yeah, there's plenty of them. A lot of them don't like the dogma of religion and stuff like that, which, oddly enough, I mean, paganism and this does have dogma. It's just in the form of, well, we'll call it principles.
Right.
So,
and if you break those principles, then you're not really doing it right. And if you're not doing it right, why are you in the community?
yeah, and you're not going to get the results that you want.
Right.
But I will say something about the rituals themselves. They are very relaxing. They really are. Especially, there's one called the Middle Pillar Ritual. It's really awesome. It was my favorite. But anyway, it's kind of like this balancing, so you don't become polarized, which I think the next principle is, yes, the principle of polarity. Now,
okay.
you ought to be very familiar with this one, since you're the gray skeptic.
Okay.
You like the middle road.
I do.
Yeah.
I like the line there on the yin yang.
Yeah. So basically, the principle states everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. So this is kind of like, do you know what a dialectic is in philosophy?
No, I've heard the word, but I don't know it right off the bat.
It's basically taking two extremes and reconciling them,
okay.
and making something more or less new from it. So, yeah, kind of like splitting an atom, really. But the opposite effect, hopefully. So yeah, there's a lot of polarity. You can see it in our politics as a perfect example. Them libtards or, conservatards or whatever.
But I'm a moderate.
Yeah. If you're a moderate, then you're on the middle path, then you're on the right path. That's the idea of reconciliation. Even though that we can observe these things in nature, the idea of practicing the Hermetic principles is to recognize this in yourself and to reconcile this within yourself to find peace and balance in your life. So it's really kind of an exercise in psychology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. That's easy enough to understand.
Good. Some of it gets kind of tricky. The principle of rhythm. Now, this one is where you have astrology that comes into the mix. And I'll explain why in a minute. But first, I want to kind of give you a definition of what the principle of rhythm is.
Okay.
Everything flows out and in. Everything has tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. So, and how this ties into astrology is, and I'll show you my chart. So, if you look here, these are where the planets are today. I took this snapshot today of my chart. So this is my natal chart. And since everything swings is in motion, the sun will go all the way back around the chart and come back to where it started. And this is the nature of everything. What goes up must come down, etc. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and to study this rhythm, it's kind of studying the rhythm of your psyche, if that makes sense. Because astrology is kind of it's a snapshot of what your mind is like, your personality, and how different planets and positions correspond with who you are.
Right. And it's all factual, right?
Of course not.
Take a drink.
Yep. I think I might be out of character now. Damn it.
Yep.
Well, at least I got some blue moon. Blue moon.
Ooh, there you go.
Mm.
We have so on your chart here at the 2 orange squiggles, that's in the 1 triangle. So would that be like January?
These squiggles here?
Yeah, those squiggles there.
Those squiggles there represent Aquarius. This is Pisces. Can you see my cursor? Right there. Can you see it moving?
I think I lost you again.
Oh, can you see my little pointy thing moving?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. So this is Aquarius, and right here is the ascendant sign. And all that the ascendant sign means is that this is the constellation that was rising in the east at the moment I was born.
Okay.
So in terms of what it means to me, it's how I present myself. It's the face of me. So apparently I will look like an Aquarius, have Aquarius features, and how I present myself is Aquarian. So I would present myself as a very mental person, somebody who is intelligent, somebody who knows astrology. Hello. And yeah, and right now I have these out here are what we call transits. So right now on my ascendant, I have Mars, which means I'm feeling or presenting myself as very combative these days.
That would explain why she challenged me to a fight as soon as we got connected over Google Hangouts.
We're gonna throw down, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, I just want to talk.
Oh, but yeah, any other questions about the chart?
I mean, tons. I know nothing about it.
Okay.
But we shouldn't go through the whole thing tonight. But I will ask a couple. There's the markings towards the inside, like the ones I'm just gonna read what I feel. Yeah, it's like
kind of like lines here.
No. Well, that would be a question afterwards. But
okay. You're breaking up, so I'm gonna wait for you to come back.
Do you know what I mean? Or can
no, I didn't catch any of that.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I was saying that it looks towards the top to me like it says 4 Poth.
Oh, this right here?
Yeah. Okay. All of those symbols.
This is a symbol for Jupiter.
Okay.
And this is Pluto. This is Mars. And here we have Saturn. Now, right here, I have, what is that called? Oh, my God. This is a very, very strong portion of me here.
Okay.
So, and it's a lot of really strong outer planets, too. And Saturn is kind of like restriction and discipline and stuff like that. And Mars, of course, you kind of know Mars's strength and warlike and aggressiveness. Pluto is like Mars times 10.
Okay.
And Jupiter is jubilation and philosophy and loving and expansion.
Okay.
So
now the one to a little bit further left, would that be Venus?
This one here?
Yeah.
This is Uranus.
God damn it. I thought I
Venus,
thought I knew something for just a second.
My Venus is right here.
Yeah, it would be that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all these right here, as you can see these red lines here that are going toward, this is Mercury and Sun. So these are what we call a squared aspect. So these are kind of working against each other. They're in conflict. Okay. And these right here, the aspect here is called a trine because it's like I think 90, is it 90 degrees?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You said what's working against each other?
These planets here and these planets here are squared. So they're at like a 90 kind of degree angle there.
Mm-hmm.
So they are working in opposition to one another and must be reconciled. So we go back to the correspondence of polarity, or the principle of polarity.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that I have to deal with. It's a challenge in my life. Okay. And these right here are beneficial, these blue ones that go down to my moon and my Venus. So, yeah. And this is Neptune, which is kind of like the dreamy fantasy kind of let's get drunk kind of energy, so to speak.
Yeah. My favorite. That's the one I'm having to deal with right now.
Yeah, me too. Cheers.
Yeah. And I like how it's like a trident.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's why it looks that way, because it reminds us of, Neptune, and it's in opposition to my moon and my Venus. So.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
should you not be drinking right now, or should you be drinking to balance everything out?
Sometimes, I mean, the oppositions are kind of tricky. Sometimes they can work against you, sometimes not. Sometimes they're a vice. So, yeah, I'm gonna drink to that again. So basically, all that this means is that drinking or engaging in dreaminess or not really paying attention can interfere with my mood and my love life.
Okay.
Which is true. I get pretty snippy with Matt when I get drunk. It only happened once. Well, maybe twice. So yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4 times, whatever.
And so most people, they focus on the sun sign, which this is the sun. And I have, my sun sign is Cancer. Little sideward 69 there. Always love that. So yeah. Any other questions?
Oh yeah. What kind of symbols are these? Are these Greek symbols or?
Well, some of them, like, they started off from the Greek tradition, but as it moved into like the Age of Enlightenment, they changed. So they've kind of evolved through the years, and this is kind of the more modern symbols that we have now.
Okay, so it's just a little bit of a like eclectic kind of symbolism, like they have a little bit of this and that.
Now? Yeah, and it's pretty much we pretty much use the same symbols universally for the planets, but when it comes to the astrology symbols themselves, they tend to change quite a bit.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. And this, just so everyone knows, and to kind of compliment you on it, this is kind of what I really like for the Atheist Flashbacks. It's used to know, and I think that's really cool. That's because the point of Atheist Flashbacks is to show that, yeah, we knew this bullshit. That's why we don't believe it anymore. You know?
Exactly.
We're not just pretending like I can't pretend that I used to be hermetic,
right,
woo practitioner, because I don't even know what it's called, right? And if I look at this chart, I would just bullshit my way through it, and anyone who actually knew it would be able to tell. But if you go to Missus Snarky here, you know that she used to believe this.
Oh yeah, like if you give me your birth time and date and place, I could read your damn chart.
Oh, let's fucking do it. Are you ready for this right now?
Well, I don't know if you want
challenge.
I don't know if you want all that information out publicly, so, and it would take me a while to kind of like look and analyze, but I could do it for you like through DM, and give you a chart reading if you'd like.
Okay.
Just for fun, shits and giggles. It ain't real. It ain't real, but hey,
Yeah.
let's see what works. Let's see what
Fun
happens.
stuff. I actually had a tarot card reading earlier today.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what's your future, or can you not tell me?
It was basically what was going to be happening today, and it was mostly I was going to have a good day. There were going to be opportunities.
Oh, wow.
Right, and
That's not a Barnum.
I should just take them. Yeah, and the worst part of my day was going to be like.
I think you were breaking up again, hun.
Got that out of the way.
So,
and
so the worst part of your day was I wasn't going to hear a damn thing you just said.
Oh, no. And like the worst part of my day was going to basically be like good fortune, but not in the way that I wanted it.
Aww.
Yeah.
Disappointment.
And you know what? I think it was right. Like I got a nap, and it wasn't as long as I wanted it to be.
Oh,
I think I'm a believer now.
That could be just confirmation bias, but
it could be. You know, I'm kind of looking for it.
Take another drink.
Everyone take a
drink. But yeah, I mean, I studied this for years, and sometimes I would spend like all day looking at everybody's chart, my chart, and there's all kind of different charts that you can look at. You can look at composites. You can look at progress charts, which is basically since the sun moves like 1 degree each year, your little wheel here will move up. So basically now my rising is Pisces, and it's about to go into Aries. So yeah, because you change, you progress as you grow. So does your chart.
Yeah. See, now I'm a Pisces, and that told me right off the bat that all of this is bullshit, because like I hate fish. I was really upset that I was a Pisces. Like if I was like even in Aquarius, I might have put any kind of stock in it, but
well, you know what's kind of funny about that, Mac? Pisces are very wishy-washy, so of course you wouldn't like the fish.
I heard not a word that you said.
I said Pisces are kind of wishy-washy, so of course you wouldn't like the fish. Oh, but also, fun fact, I have a cousin who is a professional astrologer, quote unquote professional. Yeah. It's the bane of my existence right now. We used to talk every day, all day about astrology and various other things if we got to it. But yeah, she don't talk to me anymore because I don't believe in it.
Yeah, you'll have that.
Yeah.
Well, you went against the dogma, so.
Doggone it.
Just one almost completely off topic, because I like to take every rabbit trail. The back in the second principle of correspondence, you said as above, so below, and since this October especially, have you seen the movie As Above, So Below?
I have not, and I have been wanting to watch it, but to be honest, I've been kind of avoiding it because it's been kind of difficult for me to really look at the woo stuff for a while because it would piss me off.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm this is kind of awesome because I can look at it and not get angry. So this is a therapeutic thing for me, and I appreciate that.
I'm very glad. I'm very glad that this is that for you. Therapeutic. Yeah. And I mean, as I said before and different streams, that like
Oh no, I lost him again. Woe is me.
Times, like, even though I was still a Christian at the time, like learning to laugh at it helps either way, just like softens you up.
Yes, it does.
So, and then doing it afterwards, like being able to laugh with it, especially in a community like this, it can be very therapeutic. So,
Definitely.
But yeah, I do recommend that movie to everyone watching tonight, As Above, So Below, because I'm not a big scary movie guy, but this one, I fucking loved it. It was amazing. Just like the whole little story was just fun. It was cool. They didn't go super hard like on. It's not like Paranormal Activity, which is like one of my least favorite kind of scary movies.
Wow.
But it just it grows in intensity,
Oh,
and
cool.
it has some really cool aspects to it. So, and it's also like filmed in like the catacombs in France.
Oh, that's
Yes.
cool. I love
Yeah.
that. Is it on Netflix or?
I don't think so. I don't
Oh,
think it is. But I mean, they might throw it on for spooky stuff for October.
ooh,
So everyone watch out for it. If you guys are looking for a scary movie for the month of October, I definitely recommend As Above, So Below.
awesome.
And now back to our original programming. So, um, so this chart goes with the principle of rhythm.
It goes with rhythm and also correspondence. Because as you recall, these planets and constellations are above.
Yes.
Right? So they are below. So one reason why you practice magic, and it kind of goes back to these squares and things I have to reconcile. Polarity, yeah. Right?
Yes.
So you do rituals that are based on, well, if it'll load, the tree of life. And all of these, I don't know if you can see that. Is that good? There we go.
Yeah, I can see that.
And all of these little spheres here correspond to the planets. Here's Earth. This is the moon. This is Mercury, Venus, the sun, Mars, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, Saturn, and Neptune, and Uranus. And
Uranus is up there with the galaxy.
Yes. And this tree of life also corresponds to the body. So if you can kind of imagine your body being transposed over this, I might have an actual picture. Here we go.
What's number 10 there again?
The 10th one is the Earth.
That's Earth.
Yeah. So these correspond with, this is the Earth, Malkuth. And we have, this is backwards. So this is Hod and Netzach. Oh my God. I'll have to look at it again. I forgot. It's been so damn long.
Benai.
Benai. And so basically these top is mother and father, and this is the Godhead. Okay. And it's, of course, above you and just out of reach. And that's kind of the point. And here's the heart chakra. Yay! And notice where the moon is. That's what you think it means. I
disagree with this chart right off the bat.
Why? Just because you won't take another drink?
No, because you said this is all in line with the like the planets and stuff, and
yes,
I'm just like, moon's not a planet, sun's not a planet, Pluto's not a planet.
They're not.
And if they are, where the fuck is a Ceres? Where's Maki?
Well, Ceres is actually an asteroid in the astrological chart, which I don't really want to like get into it because, like, if I do, it would show my birth date and all that, and I don't want to do that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. To go back to the simplistic thing, these all represent the different planets, and the little paths here are tarot cards, at least the major arcana, the 22 tarot cards.
Okay.
Okay. And
Where's the Nine of Cups?
The Nine of Cups isn't major arcana.
Oh, fuck. Where's the Ace of Cups?
That's not major arcana either.
God damn it. Nothing.
I'm talking about like the Death card, the Empress, the Emperor, and things like that. The World, the Chariot, these things. And I don't remember which ones are which. There's another chart somewhere, but...
Is there a Jester or a Joker?
Actually, there's a Fool card, and it's the number 1 card. It's actually right here. Yeah.
Okay.
And in Kabbalah, which is the tradition that this comes from, in the Golden Dawn, is basically when you contemplate the cards, you do what they call path working. So you'll start down here at Malkuth, the earth, and if you want to know your psyche or your dream world or things like that, you would concentrate on, I think this is, which one is this? Oh, I don't remember. It might be the moon card. You would concentrate on that, meditate on that, and then you would go into the Yesod realm in order to kind of familiarize yourself with your psyche there. And that's where astral travel and all that stuff comes into play in the path working. It's basically trying to make your psyche whole and balanced and understand your quote unquote power and get closer to God, because God's up here basically, or at least the best connection to God that you have. It's what Aleister Crowley called the Holy Guardian Angel. And the goal is to achieve knowledge and conversation with your Holy Guardian Angel, which is your higher self, your soul, basically. And that is the closest connection to God that you can achieve. Yeah.
What about dying? Does that count?
Dying, I mean, basically, I mean, there are different ideas when it comes to death. Usually they have this reincarnation kind of thing where you have to come through several times until you're purified and balanced.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go into the everything. You can ascend into the Godhead, essentially.
Okay. So do they believe in like...
I think you cut out again, huh?
Hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I was asking, so do you in quotations believe in the Christian God in any kind of aspect, or what's your God look like that you're trying to get closer to?
Well,
an atheist wants to know God gives head?
It was that's beautiful. I love that. So the main idea is, when it comes to these traditions, you want to go back to the foundational belief that you were raised with. So yes, Christianity had a lot to do with what I studied. I read Genesis 1 in Hebrew and analyzed it and all this other stuff because it supposedly contains the mysteries of creation and getting close to God. So
how well do you read Hebrew?
Not very well. Mainly it's just becoming connected with the Hebrew alphabet, and the Hebrew alphabet is like a code. Mm-hmm. And if you notice in here, there are Hebrew letters. There's Vav and Hey and Gebel and Resh and Shin, I believe that. Yeah, Shin and Aleph. Those are the ones that... Oh, Lamed. Where's Lamed? There's Lamed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Do you recognize Ichad or Shnaim?
Ichad? No.
Naim, Shlosha, Arba'a?
Alaba? No, I don't. I'm not very see like the Hebrew part of the whole thing.
I didn't hear that last thing you said. I'm sorry.
Oh, the
You cut
Hebrew
out.
part of the whole thing, and this is Raish, that's Lamed. The Hebrew portion of this whole thing really confused me. That was the most difficult thing that I had. I know Yod Hey Vav Hey very well. This here's Yod Hey Vav Hey. Because that's supposedly that's the name of God, the ineffable name of God. Yehovah. Yo Hey Va Hey. So yeah.
Are you chanting?
Chanted that a lot, yes.
Oh.
A whole lot. And the mystery with Aleph is it's the first Hebrew letter in the book of Genesis. And the mystery behind that is Aleph is the breath of life that eliminates from Kether and goes to Chokhmah.
So life comes from Uranus?
Pretty much. My life comes from Uranus.
And because I cut out, when I was counting, I was counting.
Oh,
but
yeah, I didn't learn the count.
I joked, and I said, I think I'm just going full Pentecostal on you right now.
Yep. Halamaseta, Halamakai, Halamakai, Halamaseta, Halamakai. I've got GI's thing down pretty good. But yeah, any questions on the Sephiroth and the Tree of Life? Or
can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. See, I can usually tell if you can hear me by sometimes I can hear Pastor Matt typing away.
Yeah, he types really loudly, doesn't he?
He's fucking up that keyboard right now.
Yeah, he's banging it. I'm jealous.
Finger banging the keyboard.
Yeah, how dare you finger bang that thing? And hard too. Damn. Right behind my back.
I'm great at finger banging.
It's true.
Yes.
Okay.
Save your dirty devil sex magic for later, you two.
I'm good at finger banging. I'm good at finger banging.
Alamaseta Halamakai. So yeah, usually it's oh god. But anyway, any questions?
Funny for all these atheists to say.
Yeah.
Question, well, I'm interested in knowing the next two. Hermetic, am I saying it right?
Hermetic.
Hermetic principles, because there's 7, right? You said there's 7.
There's 7. So we went over.
I'm taking notes here, Jen.
Are you? Well, I could just send you the link to this, but you know.
That'd be cool too. But I've already started the notes. It's too late.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. And this is a beautiful picture, isn't it? I love these. I love the art, and the art contains a lot of symbolism and mystery in it as well.
Yeah, I love the garden full of skulls.
Yes, it's beautiful skull flowers. So, okay, the principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. So this principle is often cited in terms of when you're a practicing magician, and whenever you do manifest something, it will come in the form of coincidence or the law not recognized. It will seem like chance, but it's not. Everything has a reason. Not a lot of nihilism in this. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Any questions, comments on this?
No, just a comment of, I mean, Everything has a cause, everything has an effect. Therefore, God.
Gold.
Therefore, God's God. Therefore, Godception.
Oh, Godception. I like it. It's pretty much what the tree of life. It's pretty much what the tree of life is Godception. It's kind of like whenever, what is that called? Not mitosis, is it? When the cells break apart and make two.
You're asking the wrong.
Is it mitosis, baby?
Yes.
Yes. So, all right. Last principle. The principle of gender. Gender isn't everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. So,
wouldn't it be like
are you back now?
it's wrong?
What?
I would say wouldn't it be wouldn't everything have its like masculine and feminine attributes, not principles, or am I just understanding this wrong?
Well, it's kind of like when it comes to gender, it's not really talking about gender, but it's talking about mildness and strength. So remember when I was talking about the two pillars? I don't know if it's over here. It's not on that one. Where are the pillars? Here we go. This is a good demonstration. So you have these two pillars, the extremes of passivity and activeness. So passivity would be like, if you're right-handed, it would be your left hand because you don't use it.
Okay.
So it's passive. And your right hand would be your activity. So finding balance in between these things is the middle path. Hence the middle pillar here. The gray, there's where the gray comes in. Because this is supposed to be black and this is white. So in between is the middle pillar. So yeah, this is basically what the principle of gender is talking about. There's a time to be active and a time to just sit there.
Jen wants to know if, or what if you're ambidextrous?
Well, then you're just a heathen.
I may be a heathen.
Yeah, you might be. My daughter would be a heathen too. No, that was just kind of like a demonstration. Like most people aren't ambidextrous. Most people use one hand over the other, but yeah. I guess if you're ambidextrous, then you would be in the middle path already, so you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah. You're enlightened already. You're just born enlightened. Yay.
Ding 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 ding.
But yeah. That's basically that. It talks about, creation and regeneration and why these things are so important. It goes in harmony with the principle of correspondence, and this means that masculine and feminine exist not only on the physical plane, but also in the mental and the spiritual as well. So you have active forces and passive forces, the push-pull of everything, which really, it's kind of strange because you would think this would go with polarity, but it really doesn't. Because it's more about active and passive than it is about just extremes. It's kind of different, I know. So the masculine is penetrative, assertive, progressive, conquesting, explorative energy that drives progress, while the feminine is the receptive, sacred, treasured, protective energy that maintains tradition and honors the priority of what is most important, while nourishing that which is most essential to life. So, yeah. So too much masculine without balance of feminine leads to growth of power and the extreme of reckless abandon. And too much feminine energy without the balance of masculine leads to a life grounded so deeply in the present that our lives become determined by the cycles and external circumstances out of our favor. So this is another thing that needs to be in balance. So it's kind of the same thing as the law of polarity, but not. I always thought it was kind of strange and confusing, but yep.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's
cool.
That's Hermetica. Yay! There's the
all right. So if if you are ready to convert to the Hermetic way of life, go ahead and press 1 in the live chat.
Hey, you got to read a lot of books and learn Hebrew, which I sort of did, but I can read tarot and astrology charts pretty damn well. So
there you go.
yeah.
Hey, we've converted a couple people. Doesn't mean more blowing jobs. Not for me, but I don't know. I mean, it's really whatever it means to you, man.
Oh, Reese is in the chat. I bet he's really enjoyed this. He loves this stuff.
It's awesome.
Oh,
see Reese in here.
Oh wow! So Glow J, are you going to come to the dark side? Like you could not only pray to God, but you could connect to God with this. That's a really bad joke. Totes loved it. Cool. I'm glad you did, honey. I'm glad you did. So,
does anyone else have more questions for Mrs. Snarky here? Few, because I don't know enough about this to ask a lot of questions.
there's a lot. There's a lot to this. Really, if one were to really be serious about Kabbalah and Hermetic practice, it would take a lifetime of study.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Faye's voice is everything that is right in the world. I agree, Christy. Totally agree. Her voice is like so relaxing. I love her. I am not embracing the one true penis.
Would you embrace that one true penis of Pentecostalism?
I think I have embraced that Pentecostal penis.
Yeah.
Y'all are so much fun. I love y'all. Oh, God will not be mocked. Well, I've mocked God a lot.
Oh,
So,
God.
you know. And you misspelled snarky. Just saying.
Oh, fuck. Glad I didn't do it. Nacho Witness says he has a question, but he doesn't think it's appropriate asking here.
Oh, Nacho. Since when are you fucking shy?
Right? So I have a good question for you. I think. I mean, it's probably a bad question. I don't have any good ones.
There are no bad questions. Yes, go ahead. Right. If it's bad, I'll just laugh at you. And it'll
good.
Okay.
I like laughter.
Invasive
laughter. So did you ever do anything with chakras, or did you just go off the chart that you showed us?
Well, I did do the chakra stuff, and to be honest, when it comes to like the middle pillar ritual that I was talking about, that's more or less chakra work.
Okay.
When I first started kind of like exploring spiritualism, I was looking into yoga and the Eastern teachings, and it just didn't really, quote unquote, resonate with me. Mm-hmm. And when I got into Kabbalah, it was some of the stuff was very familiar because, like I said, a lot of this stuff comes from the Hebrews. So, I knew Genesis 1. I can study that shit. So I got the Zohar, which is an interesting read. It kind of goes over and over all of this stuff. And like I said, it takes lots of reading and study. So, yeah. I did do a lot of chakra work. but just from this tradition, which this tradition comes from the Golden Dawn.
Okay. All right, cool. So did you do anything with gemstones?
Yes, I did a lot of stuff with gemstones, mainly because they would correspond to planets and different things that I was working with magically. So, yeah, I used a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
And they're pretty.
They are pretty.
And a lot of times you can charge stones with magical power and like keep them in your pocket to sustain the energy field around you or whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a friend who liked to do that.
Yeah, it's so fucking goofy, but I did it. So, like, I had a sick friend, and I visited him in the hospital, and I charged a crystal and put it under his hospital bed to heal him.
I didn't hear any of that from Visited.
Oh, I visited a friend of mine in the hospital, and I took a charged crystal with me, and I put it under his bed to heal him because I was dumb. No, I would not have bought the jade vagina egg. I was not sticking things in my hoo-ha.
Oh my goodness.
I was stupid, but not that stupid.
I want to know about.
Okay. Yeah, Santos.
Santos. Oh, Santos Bonacci. Now he has some very interesting videos on astrology, and they're really in depth. He's a crazy fucktard that is a flat earther, though. So grain of salt.
He's not only a fucktard, he's a crazy fucktard.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because he had all kinds of interesting astrology videos, and then like he got arrested for some reason. And when he came out of jail, he was a flattard, and I was sad.
And then how about Carl Jung?
Carl Jung? Oh
Jung.
yeah, oh yeah, because archetypes and in fact the tree of life and all the planets and stuff like that were different archetypes of the psyche. They also correspond to that. Yep. Good stuff. And dreams. Like I mentioned before, I did a lot of astral work, which is basically just visualization and out of body kind of stuff, which a few times whenever I would go into trance, it felt really real. It was just an experience. It was crazy. But yeah, when I did a lot of the path working and the astral work, it was very dreamlike, and it was kind of like me exploring the depths of my own mind. So, yeah. Yay, Carl Jung. I loved him. I read quite a few of his books and stuff. He's interesting. He was a quack, though. Don't get me wrong. There's a reason why Freud thought he was nuts. Because Freud was an atheist, Carl Jung was not. He thought that religion was the one thing that would save the planet. And as an anti-theist, he's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. So you did a lot of astro projection kind of work. Did you do a lot of spells as well then?
Yes.
Do you have any real good ones that stick out? You want to tell us about?
Well, most of my spell work had to do with like my PTSD and bipolar, because I was really struggling with those things. So a lot of it was, trying to get rid of my grief and trying to balance out different things. And the way that I would do that was I'd look at my chart, see what needed to be reconciled, and kind of like call upon whatever planet I wanted to use or invoke or banish to balance out these psychic issues. And sometimes it would include like charging amulets or stones and things like that and putting them in my temple. And I had a temple where I did rituals and stuff.
I didn't hear the last part you said.
I had a very special area that I would call my temple, where I would do my rituals, and I did them daily.
Okay.
One of them was called the Lesser Banishment of the Pentagram, which would kind of like cleanse and balance the elements. It was an elemental ritual. And there was also the banishing or invoking ritual of the hexagram, which had to deal with the planets. So I would do those, and I would also do the middle pillar ritual to kind of come back down and calm and balance again. So,
okay.
Yep.
And you said you did that daily?
Yep. Or at least every weekday. On the weekends, it felt kind of weird because Matt was home, and I knew that he felt that I was crazy. So, yeah. Sometimes I did it anyway. And a couple times he did the middle pillar ritual with me. And I think he said at the time that he enjoyed the experience, but now he just, I was playing because I wanted that pussy. Okay. So is that true? You just were trying to get the poo nanny, so you just did? Yeah, maybe. He was. That means yes.
No, sometimes you got to experiment for it.
I'll do this meditation, and I get a DJ after it, right?
Hey, you enjoyed the tantric sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who taught me the most about metaphysics? Michael Donald Craig. And he's dead now, but he has this book that really it's a comprehensive book on magic. What is it called? Oh my God, I'll have to look it up. I don't know why I can't. Oops. Oh, can't believe that I don't remember. Yes, Modern Magic was the book. 12 Lessons in the High Magical Arts. I learned more in this book than reading like hundreds of other books, because it's put down and it's really simple, and it explains what the rituals are for, how magic works, and all this other stuff. And it's really funny. It's really funny because the first like couple of paragraphs in the book is magic is real despite what they've told you. Yeah. Yeah, it's really funny. I was planning on doing a video just reading like the first couple of pages of the book just for the lulz, you know. But yeah. Oh, Hamlet's Mill. Yeah, you've recommended that to me before. Seriously, I haven't checked it out, but I'll look into it. So, yeah. Any other questions or?
Oh, not looking like it from the live chat. We'll give them another minute here to throw some more out there.
I do have a comment for Glowjay. Yes, the Bible does speak of magic. It speaks of God speaking magic words to create. And yes, that is what that means. A lot of the stuff that I've studied was the Hebrew translations of how that works. So, yeah. You should look into the Zohar, Glowjay. That'll really enlighten you. What sign is Matt?
I'm a stop sign. I don't talk about the sign.
He's a stop sign.
Stupid.
Oh, well, his moon sign is Aries, so that's definitely a stop sign. I'm not lying, Glowjay. You can seriously look it up. And please spell my name right. Please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I believe in demons? Yes, I did. In fact, a lot of the stuff that I did was Enochian magic. And basically, you had 72 angels that were emanations of God, and they had demonic counterparts. So, yes.
Gotcha.
A lot of times, some people would, if you practice like black magic or whatever, and there's also the Solomon magic where you would basically summon a demon and put it in a bottle and make it do your bidding. It was said that Solomon had captured all the demons. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
And that was the source of a lot of his wisdom and power. Supposedly. I really don't think it's true now. I think it was bullshit, but...
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
So how many demons did you say?
70, well, I mean, there were 72 angels, and because like there's 72 emanations of God.
Right.
The name of God is like really complicated. If you want, I can give you like references to it, but it's really difficult to explain.
Okay.
And of course, you have polarity. So anything that's good also has a bad, and they're one and the same.
Right.
Yep.
So Atheist wants to know who made the demons, and Wonder Lady wants to know, did you bottle a demon?
I did not bottle a demon. I considered it, but I didn't. I didn't have. You have to have like certain materials and a setup, and I just didn't have that. I was lazy. So, yeah. Thank you. Finally, you spelled my name right.
Appreciate it.
Oh. There was another one. Oh, yes, I totally believe in the happy pig demon. I still do. And his name is
about the happy pig demon.
His name is Russ. Shh. Don't tell him. Don't tell him, but I know. I know he's the happy pig demon. He pretends to be a nihilist, but he's not. He's happy.
Awesome. All right. Well, I don't have any more questions for you. I think you answered all the questions in live chat. I think this was very fun.
Yeah, I had fun. I like talking about this stuff. It's so silly and so complicated. You could talk about it forever, but let's not. Oh, I think I lost you again. Poor Mac.
You can hear me now, though.
Yes.
Yes. I didn't hear what you were saying.
Oh, I was just saying I could talk about this forever, but let's not.
Yeah, let's not. Let's not. But you really could, because it gets really in depth.
It really does.
I understand that.
Especially if I brought all my books out. Oh my God.
Yeah. And I'm trying to make these streams like an hour and a half tops now. So I'm glad. I'm glad you did not bring your books. But I'm very, very glad that you did that little presentation. You really broke down the whole thing for us.
Awesome. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do I would not be able to do it without visuals. There's just no way. There's too much geometry and symbolism and stuff in this.
Right. And I think I think it helped everyone kind of follow along a lot better too, because there were things I missed that I didn't realize I missed until like you came back to them. Like,
good.
So,
good.
yeah.
That's the thing. The thing about Kabbalah and the occult is too, you do miss things often. That's why it takes a lifetime of study.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a final question for you.
Okay.
On this. Kind of going back to what I had asked earlier about atheists practicing this.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about because you're an anti-theist, as am I. How do you feel about this kind of thing being practiced in any kind of like secular way or just kind of meditative way? Or how do you feel like, do you think it's beneficial or good?
Well, the meditation and the self-study, self-examination is definitely good. But
Okay.
this shit right here will fuck you up if you have a mental disorder. And it's very ironic because I got into this to deal with grief and mental disorders that I have. And it only made it worse. Because if you think that there are like demons and angels and shit watching you all the time, and you feel connected to it and you really believe it, it makes you like paranoid and kind of crazy. Like I spent so much time looking at astrology charts and trying to analyze this stuff. It's a real time suck.
Yeah. And it takes your resources too, because you spend money on this and
lots of money. Lots of money. And it's not real. Magic is not real. You hear that, y'all? Magic ain't real. So yeah. And like I said, if you have like bipolar or schizophrenia or OCD or anxiety or anything like that, this is not a good thing. This is very harmful. So, and that's why I like speaking about it, because I like to highlight the harm that it can do. And it did a lot of harm to me, and it's done harm to other friends of mine that practice this, that I know. In fact, I have an interview on my channel with Mr. Sarcastic. He didn't practice Kabbalah, but he practiced like New Age beliefs, which are very similar. They're just not as in depth. They're kind of like magic light. So yeah, he had a lot of issues with it too because he has OCD. So he was looking for patterns and things everywhere, and it caused him a lot more anxiety. So you have to be very, very mindful of that when you're talking about these things. Now, like I said, there are definitely benefits to meditation and mindful practice. That's the one thing that I gained from this.
Yeah.
Learning how to do that.
Yeah, I've seen that meditation kind of like across the board can really be a good thing.
Definitely. Just don't believe in the whole supernatural thing. Okay, y'all? It's not real. There's not shit watching you. You're fine. Just go about your life. Relax, enjoy it while you can, because you only have so much time to be alive. So use it wisely. Don't fucking study astrology and this bullshit.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you very much for coming on tonight. I know it was a little bit short notice. If anyone does not know, I was going to have Mr. Atheist on the channel. We've rescheduled this about 3 or 4 times, but we each keep coming up with scheduling conflicts. So we should be doing something on Sunday.
Awesome. I love him.
Make up the date. Yeah, he's pretty great. I like Jimmy a lot.
He's smart too.
Yeah, he seems like it, doesn't he?
He seems like it. I'm not so sure. No.
Yeah, sure.
Love you, Jimmy. Mwah. Oh, no.
Yes.
Are you back? Oh no. He left me again.
This was really, really fun.
Yay.
Thank you,
I had
Mrs.
fun too. Anytime.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, and thank you, live chat, for coming in and hanging out. And Atheist, yes, you can go touch your pee-pee now.
Yay.
So,
no one was stopping you. I mean, you know.
No one's stopping you. No one's stopping you. You are not. No one's on camera right now. So, all right. Well, I hope you and Pastor Matt can go to bed tonight and do some tantra, some sex magic.
Yeah, I'll have him speaking in tongues tonight.
take the Lord's name in vain and do it.
God damn it, yeah.
All right. Well, again, thanks live chat for coming. Please share this video. Please subscribe. Please subscribe to Mrs. Snarky, because when we started, she was only about 10 away from 300. So get over there and let's get her to 300. Share this video out and tell everyone to sub to us, because we're worth it too.
We're awesome.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you and good night.